Sei venoso, sai?
Milan, oh yeah, sorry. It's not Milan? Just kidding, yeah, Milan. Yeah, Milano, I see. I think of Milano as those little cookies. Milano, which I guess is probably cheesy. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out this time to where we were in town. I have a feeling that we'll be doing that more often.
Yes.
6 years. I'm 28, so yeah. Sorry. No, my question is, you have known Jensen for a long time, and when did you first meet Jared, and what was your first impression of him?
Hang over your mantle? Yes. It's a very romantic shot. It was funny. I actually remember I had just gotten on the show. Maybe it was in the first year, and I got an email from one of the friends who had been there. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, I have those pictures of you in the wedding dress on my Facebook page, and it looks like maybe some of your fans have gotten a hold of it." And I was like, "Oh shit! Oh well, cat's out of the bag. Here we go. There it is. She has it on her phone. Can we see?" No, I'll show Sasha. Isn't that pretty? You are a handsome bride. It's beautiful. I don't know if I have dressed up as a woman yet. But I find it very difficult to find, what are we looking for? I don't know, we're looking for anything good. Oh my God. Oh my God! I had no idea I could go in there. Some nice selfies. This is, by the way, the second time today you've given me your phone. What are you thinking? Oh, I'm up the kilt shot, I see. All right. No, I haven't dressed as a woman yet. I have some stuff you can borrow. Thank you.
Misha, which role could Sasha play in Supernatural, and Sasha, which role could Misha play in Grimm?
I think Misha looks a lot like our Grimm, actually. I think you have a. It's true though. He's got like. I'm not saying he's getting the job. I'm just. If I had to pick a character, I think he could do the Grim. He's actually looks and is kind of like very similar to our lead character. Yeah. I don't know. Ruby. You said you wanted to wear a dress. Okay. Is that a good character? Yeah. Ruby, I'll take it.
Hi, Misha.
I mean, she's a demon. Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Come on, you know better than that. And married to classically trained. And the actress married Jared. His character or him? No, him actually. That could be complicated. He might make advances, but whatever. Thank you. Thanks. You again.
Hi again. This question is for Misha about your character on the supernatural show Castiel. So he has become human when he fall and become a self-associate and learn to cook some stuff. And then when he's trapped in his vessel, when he gave his vessel to Lucifer, he stayed in Bunker's chicken as the kitchen. No, sorry.
So curious about chicken. Because I was like, you guys got a chicken on the show? I was like, God damn it, I don't remember that. I was like, Bunker's chicken. Bunker's chicken. Because I do forget a lot from the show. Fans often remember more than me. But it wasn't a chicken, it was a kitchen. It's too bad, I prefer chicken.
So I was wondering, do you think Cast actually likes to cook, and how's his skill?
What's Castiel's skill level at cooking?
Yeah.
I think it's probably right around along par with my son's cooking. Pretty toxic, pretty terrible. I hope that he doesn't watch this. Don't put that portion on the internet, you guys. Yeah, I don't think he's had a lot of experience. I think that he made nachos when he was a human.
Yeah.
I think that's about the extent of his cooking experience, right? And he ate peanut butter and jelly. I know that. That's all he's had. So limited, I would say. Limited palate. Yeah. Thank you. So glad you asked that, by the way, because everybody was wondering. I think there's a Wendigo in the Apollo. Let's go dalt him and burn him. I haven't seen the show, but I will now. It feels more like the Actors Studio. This is a James Lipton moment, I think. Even meet out talent. That's so good. I actually looked at both microphones and I was like, which one of those ladies said that? Which one said that?
Gentlemen, I am once again in the unfortunate position of having to pull off two handsome, hunky, talented, awesome men, so...
Well, we're not going to leave without a fight.
Quite that.
Did you catch that impersonation?
It was pretty phenomenal. It was great. I was like, he's here? Like,
Yeah,
he's here. So that he could exist in two places at once. It was kind of interesting. Guys, can we send these guys off properly?
Before you leave, you want to give some gift to them? Come on.
So this is my last.
No!
I know.
We want you to stay here tomorrow.
I would like to stay as well.
We love you.
I love you too. But I have been without the kiddos for a long time. So I'll rush off. But now without spending some more time with you guys. All right, let's do it. Anything you want to know. Now's the chance. Anything. Shoe size. In European, it's like 70 or something. I'm between a 13 and a 14, depending on the shoe.
Hello.
Va bene? Yes? Cheese? Hi.
Hi again.
Hi.
Yeah, you mentioned your brother before as a bad influence on you. I was just wondering, you after your accident here with Master Chow, which side of your brother was coming out more? Your big brother mocking you for getting your shoulder broken by someone half your size, or the orthopedic surgeon who is actually specialized in curing injuries like that?
So my older brother's an orthopedic surgeon, and so when I hurt my shoulder, I called him and I was like, I think my shoulder's hurt. And he's like, yeah, but I mean, you're talking on the phone, it's probably fine. And I was like, I've got a good pain tolerance, Jeff, my brother. And he's like, all right, when you come in, we'll x-ray it. And so I left a couple days later and flew to Austin by myself and got an MRI or x-ray the next day. He told me it was pretty injured. But he goes really well into, my brother goes really well into like work mode. And he's a pretty awesome surgeon. I think my dad's favorite story to tell my brother is that he was in a restaurant or something, and somebody passed out, and he ran over to start looking at them, and somebody was like, hey, buddy, are you ambulance or something? He's like, no, I'm a doctor. And like went back to it, but he gets way into work mode really quickly, so he went to older protective brother mode. Thank God, because I got all nice and fixed up, and now I can move.
Yeah, but probably come out later.
Exactly. Thank you.
Hi, Jared.
Hi.
My question is, what was it like to film the fake supernatural documentary? And is it easy for
Fake?
but mockumentary. And is it easy for you to make fun of yourself?
It was it was awesome filming the fake documentary, and it was really easy to make fun of myself. One of my favorite parts about Supernatural is being able to mock ourselves and do episodes like Real Ghostbusters or Changing Channels or French Mistake, and kind of make fun of how a lot of actors are. The cemetery, like the whole, I had a lot of fun with that, Real Ghostbusters. But I loved it. I loved it, the fake documentary. We were thinking of ideas for like a couple weeks, and then Misha would come up and film, like, okay, time to film. The only problem was we had to do it in between takes, so we had to go act, and I had lines, I had actual lines that Sam Winchester had to say, and then we had sort of like, not dialogue, but that's putting it mildly, 007.
Sam is strong.
Sam is strong. Dean is strong too, and Kane was strong too. So I think one of the things we try to do with Supernatural is try and say, like, this is a stronger force than you could ever even imagine. And so we try to introduce these elements of the story that are, if you get this mark of Cain, then, like Sam says to Dean, you're going to have to lock me up someplace far away and throw away the key. Because Sam, if anything, just does not want another evil unleashed on the world. And I think that was that's kind of been a running theme of Sam's life, or a running motto of Sam's life. I know the lights. Are you talking about the lights?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think I feel? So I think it wouldn't have been bad. I know he would have fought it, but I hope that Dean would have locked him away somewhere and not let that force get unleashed on the world.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If you could time travel, would you go back in time and change something, or would you love to have a sneak preview of your future?
If I could time travel, would I love to change things or sneak preview? God. That's a great question. No, it's a great question. I don't think I want to see the future. I mean, part of me is so curious that I love to know, because you feel like, but the funny part is if you see, this becomes like a movie line, but the point is what if I see my future and I don't like my future? Then I'll probably try and change the outcome, but I saw the future, so I can't change that outcome. So it would just be a source of anxiety and or depression. Or if it was like if I saw the future and I was super cool or something, I'd be like, well, now I'm going to be an asshole because I know I end up super cool or something. I don't know. But then again, I also don't want to necessarily change the past. I mean, oh, I saw a shadow. I thought it was somebody. It's myself. I don't want to change the past necessarily. There have been things I've done in my life that I'm not super proud of. You know, if I've done something that's hurt somebody, I would like to erase that. I guess that would be my answer then. I guess I would go back and change things. But then you go like, does that change who you are now? Whatever. Probably I'd like to change the past. What about you? Do you want to see the future or change the past?
No, I would go back in my past and change something I've done.
Okay. Yeah, I guess me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi. So Supernatural has 11 seasons, and as the cast of Supernatural has changed, also the fandom has changed. So the relationship between the cast and the fandom has changed. So how do you think this relationship has changed through the years?
Between the fans and the cast? Oh God, I mean, I think we've just gotten to know each other. I think we've seen each other, and y'all probably, I'm guessing y'all as a fandom, both here in the States or wherever else, probably know more about me and my personal life than I know about you. I've gone through things, and y'all have been in my life, whether or not I was vocal about it or not. But conversely, I know that in the last 11 years, everybody in this room has gone through something, or many somethings. And I think for some people 11 years, for some people 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, however long you've watched the show. It's an honor to think that I've been a part of y'all's lives when you hit different depressions or highs or lows or rock bottoms or sideways. And hopefully my part in the show, or maybe even who I've tried to be in my real life has helped, because I know who y'all are has helped me. So I think it's just, you feel like it feels like we've grown up and gone to school together, you know? Like if you're 5 years old when you start school in first grade and you graduate in 12th grade, it's almost like we've just gone to school together for a long, long time and grown up in the process. And so for me, I guess it's just, you know, I have friends that I've been friends, I love these people, they've been friends for 2 years or 3 years or 6 months or whatever it is, but there's something really special about those friends of mine that knew me when I was a nerdy 16 or 15-year-old, nerdy 15-year-old who was like skipping the prom to go work on this 10-minute acting scene, you know? And people who supported me long before I could even possibly support them back. And then there's understanding that there are people here that would support me if I had nothing to offer and support back. And that to me is really special. So, yeah, it's just grown.
Thank you.
Yeah.
picture from the social media. We know that you spent a lot of good time in Austin with your family and friends. So what's your suggestion about Austin tourism?
How long are you going to be there?
Yes.
If you go to Austin, there's a lot of good food.
Yes.
For me, part of the thing about Austin that I love is walking around. I mean, it's nothing like Rome. Rome is very special. I know not everybody here is from Rome. But there's a very cool, for me, Austin became, it's a great city. There's great music, there's great food, there's great outdoor activity if you like to ride bikes or jog or swim or paddleboard or kayak. But for me, for whatever reason, Austin became a place I could relax. So that's sort of why I decided to move there. And then when I finally moved back there, I called my friend Jensen and was like, hey, you should move to Austin. What? You really should move to Austin. It's pretty badass. I don't know, man. Jensen, come visit Austin. So he came, and now he lives there too. So I get to have one of my best buddies in town also. Super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
My question is really simple. Which are the best and worst parts of being an actor for you?
Of being an actor?
Yeah.
God. For me, I have a funny mindset. It's probably incorrect, but I usually think that the best and worst part of anything is the same thing. And I'm going to kind of go into, for instance, I know people who, they work so hard and they are just driven and committed and dedicated, and they'll work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., whether it's at a job or whatever, and then they'll go home at 11 p.m. and do some more work, and you're like, that's a great quality, to be able to really push yourself and to be dedicated and hardworking. On the flip side, very often these people can't stop that. So then they're 70 years old and they're a grandmother or a grandfather, and they don't need to work anymore, but they still do. Like, it's just a part of you. And so I think the best and worst part about being an actor, oh God, I mean, everything. It's a really awesome blessing. Like, I know I can very often go to a restaurant that's booked up and get a seat. You know, on the flip side, I might have food dripping down my face and have someone come up and take a picture and see a picture online of like a big piece of lettuce in my teeth or something. I know I can afford finer things, but does that mean I'm going to lose appreciation for like the things I grew up with that were not finer by any means? I know people want to be my friends, but I question why they want to be my friends. It ends up making me question myself a lot. It's great blessings. It's awesome. But you kind of become a little, or I did, I kind of became a little weary and suspicious of the outside world. So you feel like you're in this position, right, where people find this hard to believe, except my friends have known me a long time, but I was a shy guy. Like, I wasn't like, hey, you know, but I've had to kind of learn to find that part of myself. I can be in front of people, but for me, like, if I'm not somewhere, then I'm just at home. Like, I'm just at home and just boring. So it's awesome to be able to go out and meet people and be joke around and have fun and be extroverted. But my instinct is to be introverted and home, like with a book or a glass of wine or something. So it makes you question a lot. Then again, maybe that's a good quality because you're questioning life and people. There are a lot of pros and cons. Ultimately, if I could go back in time, going back to a previous question, and change it, I wouldn't. I would have done what I did. And that's largely lately because people like y'all have made me feel welcome and special. So.
Thank you.
Competition
Uh-oh, I think, do it again.
Yeah, as an actor, you have a lot of auditions, so what's how you calm down, how you fight your fears?
Will you do me a favor and say it one more time?
How did you calm down when you take some auditions?
When I take auditions, how do I calm down? I don't.
You don't?
It's awful. It's awful, terrible, crummy.
So what's your way to fight your fears?
I don't. It just doesn't happen. I've never. Are you an actress? Do you act? Or, I must make a job audition. Like I feel horrified. I mean, I get in there and I know that I've studied and I've prepared. I think I'm going to do a good job. I know I've done a lot of work, but I'll go to an audition and be like, "Is it hot in here?" You know, like it's nerve-wracking. Like I start sweating and getting really nervous. Even after 16 years in the business as a relatively successful actor, I still have a tough time, difficult time, like believing in myself in that situation. It's just a really weird feeling. I've told this story before, so if you've heard it, forgive me. But I had a friend one time who came over to visit, and she was like, I had scripts by the side of my bed, and I was giving her, she was a friend of a girl I was dating, and I was giving her a tour of the house. I was like, yeah, I just bought a new house. I was like, and this is the bedroom, and this little balcony. And she saw a stack of scripts by my bed, probably this high, and she was like, oh my God, is that all the auditions you've gone on? Like, and she had just moved to LA, and she was going to become an actress. And I looked at her, and I looked at the stack of scripts, and it was probably 20, 30 scripts that I either needed to read, or I had just read, or I was making marks in, or I was going to audition for. Probably 20 or 30 different TV and movie scripts. And I kind of was like, you know what, follow me for a second. I walked down the stairs, walked into the garage where I had, no exaggeration, stacks of scripts and boxes like this high that I just hadn't taken to the recycling bin yet. Like stacks and stacks of hundreds and hundreds of auditions that I had gone on and not got. And I was like, these are the auditions and meetings I've been on. And she kind of looked at me and was like, oh, because here I was on Gilmore Girls. I've been on Gilmore Girls for 4 years. I had done 4 or 5 movies. I had pilots. I just bought a house. I was a successful guy. And I still had 1,000 people go like, nope, you're not good enough. Or you're not what we want. It's a tough, if you have the personality type that I do, where you're kind of hard on yourself anyways, it's tough to hear people go like, nah. You're like, all right, okay, thanks. So I still don't have any secrets for how to be good at auditions, because I still think I'm awful at auditions. But if I ever figure it out, I will tweet that shit, Facebook it. I'll make sure you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, so I'm turning up like a ball penny, aren't I? I wanted to ask you, sorry to see a couple of the writers go, Robbie and Jenny, but there's some new ones.
Jeremy.
And Jeremy, yeah.
Oh yeah, him.
Him. Well, the last one I saw was Jenny as well, Jenny Klein.
Yeah.
She's been great, 8 years. But also, there's been some great new writers too, like Nancy Wong. I just wonder what you thought of them, and if you'd had any sort of, maybe, recent stories about the writers, and just funny things that have happened, things you enjoyed about them.
So y'all may or may not know, but we lost our showrunner, Jeremy, and our writers, Jenny Klein and Robbie Thompson. And those are 3 really big for the documentary. And so it was like breaking in between 2 characters. And I've played Sam a lot in the last 11 years, y'all might know. But I haven't played like fake Jared a lot. And so I was trying to like, okay, what kind of characterization, what do I do? Luckily we knew that y'all would probably have a good time and laugh, and so we could just kind of take the piss out of ourselves. And so that's what we did.
It turned out great, thank you.
Thank you. You got it.
Hi.
Hi.
If you have the change to do a superhero movie, who would you like to be?
Superman.
Iron Man.
That's a great question. Superhero movie. Superman would be fun. Thor. I don't know, but I want a beard. Does Thor have a beard? Thor. And throw the hammer. That'd be fun. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. I feel like Sam is so practical. I think he's into whatever is the smartest way to get from this place to that place. So it would probably be like a hybrid or an electric car, or it would be like a big old like Suburban or something that he could keep a lot of supplies in, and clothes and computers and printers and weapons. And I feel like he would look for the either most economical or most kind of useful way to get from point A to point B. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Misha. Ciao. Bye, Misha. Bye. Bye.
Thank you for the gift.
Bye. That was terrible. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.